We had Clint Frazier on the show the other day, former teammate of yours.
Let's go.
Yeah, do you want to get part 2 of the Jordan prank story?
Did he say anything back? Because I actually like Clint Frazier.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
He said he was pissed at the time, but
oh yeah, I mean,
I
don't think he was pissed, but so this was Clint Frazier always asked, like you remember Clint, like he always asked for certain stuff. So like he always was, he would speak his mind, non-filtered Clint, right? So I remember he always had his shoe game was unbelievable. Like he had custom Air Jordans like all the time, and his dream was to become a Jordan client.
Yep.
And I forget who it was at the time. I think I said Gardy, but Gardy's a big prankster, and always good times with Gardy. But I think we made this letter from Jordan, came from Jordan, right? So put the letter in his locker. So when he opens the letter, it says, congratulations, Clint Frazier, you're part of a Jordan brand. So he lost it. Like he bought it
but
right off.
My thing is his if that happened to me, his agent would have already called him and said something, or like they're not just going to send you a letter; they would have called you. I mean, cell phones were around. This isn't like it was like in the 1800s.
Well, also, I think I was part of the issue. I'm supposed to be a serious guy, nice guy, for which I consider myself that, but I led the story on. So Clint Frazier comes to the training room. He's obviously losing his mind. This was his dream, to be with Jordan, right? He goes, Dellin, man, I just got this letter from Team Jordan. Like this is pretty crazy. I was like, you know what, Clint? When I got put on, I got that same letter. So he's like, oh, this is real. It's coming from Dellin. Dellin's not playing around. So he told me, I remember he told me, I don't think I can play today. I'm going to go to Aaron Boone and tell him to take me out the lineup. I said, Clint, what are you, man, you'll be all right. It's okay. Like
he was freaking out?
Yeah, he was freaking
anxiety?
out. He was freaking out. He was going to Aaron Boone to take himself out the lineup. I was like, bro, we got a game to play. Just play. And we kept this story for about a day. I think his agent, he must have reached out to his agent, and his agent probably made the call. And, obviously we had to tell him it was not real. But he was losing his mind. I think he was like...
He really was going to ask out.
He was telling guys, like, I told you guys I was going to get on this. I told you guys.
But he was going to ask out? Like, did he end up playing well? Do you remember? I mean...
Clint Frazier at the time, had his, that speed was insane. Like, at that time, I don't think he was playing as good. But then I remember, like, a year later, he was fighting for a spot with Gardy in spring training. And then he had, I don't know if it was during COVID, he had a really good run where they were like, oh, man, like, we got something here. Like, because, he was hot. Did he?
That's why he wore the mask. Remember how he was always out? You were on the Mets.
I was on the Mets, I was on the Mets.
During COVID, people are like, wow, he's wearing the mask outside. Kind of unnecessary. And then he's like, nah, I had a beard.
See, Clint always asked for it. I'm telling you. Like, this guy,
he had his
you would have wore him out, AJ.
Yeah.
I think AJ would have liked him.
But as a rookie, this kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
Gardy, my favorite Gardy thing, we used to have a smoothie fridge, which me and Gardy thought was the funniest thing ever, that like rookies would have their names on smoothies. He was like, these should all be thrown away. Gardy, they would put the strength coach would put the straw in their smoothies, and it was like, not even just rookies, like dudes that were at big league camp that weren't going to make the team. Gardy would go through and he would take the mustard and he would squirt mustard down in their smoothie, so you could never see it. And these rookies would come in and they'd grab their smoothie. Oh, what the? And Gardy was long gone. Gardy was already gone.
Nobody was safe around. Nobody was safe around Gardy. He's probably one of the better teammates I've had, but
yes,
big prankster for sure. Yeah.
My one other follow-up to this is you get a letter from a company that says, congrats, you're a client. I don't even know the terms. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Forget even money. It could be like, and we own all the rights to your NIL forever. Like, there has to be further discussion, even if it's your dream.
Didn't he get cut from Nike because he was making fake shoes? Wasn't he a Nike guy?
Fake.
Well, they were real shoes, but Nike. There was a thing where Nike guys started doing this, and Nike was cutting them because it wasn't safe, because they were putting their shoes on, the cleats on shoes that weren't meant to have cleats on, and they were worried about someone hurting an ankle or a leg, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to get sued."
He didn't care about that as long as he looked
like nice cleats.
He wanted to look. I think he was worried more about his apparel than playing at times, and that probably got in his way.
He would admit to that. I think he would admit to that.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good though. His shoe game was good. He has some nice custom cleats for sure.
He might make for a good broadcaster personality. We had him on. He's
non-filtered. He's non-filtered. Clint Frazier will let you have it.
That's what you want.
Yeah, you want that. You're right.
Building a hair growth routine is easy, only if you go with Nutrafol. Why is that, Todd Father?
Nutrafol, you think about hair. For me, sometimes the hair gets thinning. This thing will thicken your hair up as much as you need. You think about going to weddings or going to the beach or just hanging out with friends and you want to take photos. You want your hair to look good, and this is the best possibility for it.
Yeah, and thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth, that's not it, okay? They have multiple formulas for men and for women that are tailored to fit different stages of life, okay? So go check out Nutrafol. Building a hair growth routine can be easy, and you order online. There's no prescription needed as well. Free shipping, automated deliveries, and for a limited time, Nutrafol is offering the FT fam $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code FOUL, F-O-U-L. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL.
What the heck's wrong with the Yankees and the Mets, both your teams?
I know. We were just talking. I was talking to Allie about that. She's a big Mets fan, obviously, from MGM. But both teams at the same time are playing. Like, they started off really good. Both teams were in first, and then all of a sudden, for the Mets, the starting pitching hasn't been as good as they wanted. They had big injuries with Cannon and Senga. And the Yankees, they just stopped hitting all of a sudden. I remember covering the KC game, and they scored first couple games, they scored like 10 runs, 8 runs. Then after that, I kid you not, like they went 1 run, and then they went to Boston, and the bats went complete silence. Bullpen's been struggling last couple weeks. I think both teams had a rough patch, but that's a long season. You play 162. Good thing that they started off so well that they could kind of withstand some of this. But it helps that the break is coming, and then you have the trade deadline. So now it's like you can't just stand pat. You got to make something happen, whether it's getting a starting pitcher for the Yankees or maybe adding some relief depth in the bullpen for the Yankees, starting for the Mets, and kind of figure that part out.
Is there a time of the year, because you played for both New York teams, is there a time of year where you're like, the New York media, the New York pressure gets to you more because you see the All-Star break coming? If either of these teams are looking at the All-Star break, they got a lot of games to go to, even fall more if they're waiting for that. But is there a time of year where you're like, dang, like this time of year in New York, it's getting hot, the media starts really getting on you, this bugs me a little bit more?
I mean, obviously when you're not playing as good, that feeling in the clubhouse at times is not as enjoyable, but it's what is expected, right? For me, I grew up playing in a big media place, big market with the Yankees and Mets, and I embraced it. Anytime you play for a team that you're expected to win every day, I think that's the best feeling as a player. I've told people, like, sometimes it sucks if you play for a team that, you have no expectations, right? Like, you don't want to be in that clubhouse. I think the Yankees, I mean, obviously they've been struggling, but they're still in first place. And I think it makes for good baseball, right? When the division is kind of creeping up on you, I think a lot of people, obviously not in New York, they want as much distance as you want, but as a baseball fan, you want some of that. You want that closeness going down the stretch.
I mean, as someone that grew up in the area, you have friends and family that are probably Yankee fans, right? They're panicking a little bit.
Oh yeah,
because they had a big lead. It's down to a game and a half over the two teams. I mean, they've been basically caught. I mean, there's got to be. I know you're like, oh, it's great as a player, but as a fan, the fans in the Yankee fandom are like, oh,
No,
wait a second.
Yankee fans are definitely, any loss for them is a big deal. So they're definitely panicking. They want some moves. So, but in a long season, you go through these things, right? But obviously, as a fan, if you can have the bigger the lead, the just more comfortable you feel. But it just shows you maybe you have to make a big move here to make sure that for the Yankees they can get back to that promised land, which is the World Series.
All right. Discussion we had yesterday, and I won't tell you whose side anybody was on. First half MVP, Aaron Judge or Cal Raleigh, and then who wins the MVP to finish the season?
So for me, obviously,
Homer.
Homer.
You didn't even say the answer.
No,
We know what
you
he's
haven't
gonna
even
say.
said. For me, I think what Cal Raleigh has done hasn't been done. So that shows a lot. So if I was to get a first half MVP, I would probably give it to Cal Raleigh. Obviously, for me, Aaron Judge,
Yes.
what he's doing, he just gets better every year. So that in itself is impressive. And obviously, his average has dipped down, but he was hitting over 400. He's still hitting 350, right? Like what he's done every year has been pretty impressive. But, we've seen Aaron Judge.
So you're bored with Aaron Judge?
No, we've seen Aaron Judge phenomenal season before, and this year's even a step above. But Cal Raleigh, 33 home runs by not even a break yet. Come on, man. You got to give credit where it's due. Judge is my guy, and he's probably going to hear this and give me some slack. I'll probably get a text. But, I'm just being honest. I think it's close, but, if I was to vote, I would probably put Cal Raleigh.
Good answer.
I think that's a good way to put it, though, because we've never seen this before.
It's
ever.
a historic season.
Right? Doesn't that put things into
takes.
context for you? No catcher has ever done this ever. So how much better, what more do you want from the catcher?
Are you not entertained?
Right?
That's
No one's done
exact for
this.
me. It's a historic season, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of seeing what Cal Raleigh's do is what we've seen growing up, the big Mike Piazza catching, the Ivan Rodriguez guys showing a lot of power. We haven't seen that in years past like that, and that's why what he's doing right now. I think Aaron Judge the second half he's gonna hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah,
so I think he'll put him behind. But right now, I'll give it to Cal Raleigh.
Okay. By the way, I know you got to go to get poker. Are you able to? Is the reason that you haven't done your best at poker is because you're sore from pitching at Rickwood? What was it, a couple weeks ago? And you had to throw an inning. You can't get all the way in there to get your chips out.
I tell you what, man, that was probably one of the best experiences I've had. I had 3 years without picking up a baseball, but my goal was to face CY, Chris Young. He's been talking a lot of smack for the past year or two. I said, look, if I get the chance to face you in one of these East-West Classic, I'm striking you out. So I struck him out. So I got bragging.
You got bragging rights.
I was on him.
That oblique is a little sore, isn't it?
But my shoulder, I kid you not, every pitch I made, my shoulder was killing me. Don't pick up a baseball for 3 years and think it's going to work. I'll tell you what, I was around the plate, man. I probably threw more strikes than I did back in the day.
You could always throw a breaking ball for a strike. The fastball was some kind of
scattered.
erratic, but
hey, sometimes you got to throw it up and in. Got to get the hitters.
How fast you think you threw?
I probably was no more than 85. They didn't have the radar, thank God. I would have been embarrassed.
86.
Maybe. I think if I train, I could throw over 90 for sure. When I stopped playing, I was 92, 93. That don't work no more. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Unless you're spotting up, and I wasn't Greg Maddux out there. I was coming after you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.